This video is about hung up trees, and I just want to go through this technique as a refresher for candidates really. So we've got a hung up tree, it's a larch. I'll just move the camera so you can see from another angle. So as we can see there, this tree is hung up on a branch of another tree. So therefore we're going to have to roll it to the left, to roll it along that branch and get it out. So the first thing to do, of course, is to identify your danger zone, which, if the tree is going to roll to the left, then the danger zone would be immediately behind. And a lot of candidates ask how much, and I would say at least a metre, and if you want to walk round, then go 2 metres. Another danger zone would be in front of the tree, and of course where it's going to roll, the far side. Now during this process, and it won't happen with this tree, but if perchance the tree decides it doesn't want to roll that way, and as you remove some of the hinge, it decides it wants to roll this way, then your danger zones change. And if the tree won't roll either way, then the danger zone still stays in front of the tree and behind the tree, but the immediate sides, because it won't roll that way, are then no longer an effective danger zone. Further up round there, of course it still is, but in the working area it isn't. So what you have to do is you have to realise that where the danger zones are, where you can stand and where you can't stand, and the fact that they will change as the process continues. So the thing to do to start this process off is you need the saw to be flat, and when you're dealing with this side, what you want to do is you want to take off a small piece of the hinge at a time with a wiping action. So therefore in this case you're using the bottom of the chain, which is a pulling chain, and you come from the front and out the back, taking between ½ an inch and an inch off at any one time. And you need to remove at least 3/4 of the hinge. 80% is the prescribed amount, but if you move in and out, so you take that small amounts off the hinge, so that if the tree decides actually it doesn't want to go the way you imagine it would do, then the saw's already on the way out of the back of the cut as the tree's moving, so you won't get your saw trapped. And of course, getting your saw trapped is the biggest pain out in this sort of situation, and can lead to you doing some silly things. So let's get this saw started and remove parts of the hinge. So I'll just wander over here and see how much we removed. And as you see, the cut was opening up as I was cutting. I think one more. So I was standing in line with the end of the hinge, so you can see where you are. And the idea is only to cut the hinge, rather than starting to dig into the stump or cut into the butt. So it really is a matter of knowing where your lines are. So we've got a felling lever, and with a felling lever, of course, you always push the lever rather than pull, because if you were pulling it and it slipped, you'd be falling backwards, and then somebody's cut a piece of hazel or something off at a pointy angle, and it's straight in your back, whereas if you fall slightly forwards, you can control your fall. So you push like that, being aware that as it turns, you don't want to end up behind the tree. I obviously set this up so it's easy, but the idea was to show the basic principles. Now, when I was removing that 80% of the hinge, you may well think his chain's blunt, but it's quite interesting. This is a 3/8 Pico chain on a little 023. Quite nice, cuts very well, but this particular chain has got big guard links, and it just means that it doesn't cut very well on the nose, because the guard links protect the nose. So I'll just zoom in on that. So as you can see, this cutter here is actually protected by that big guard link. So let's just move it round a bit, and even there it's sort of protected. So it only just starts cutting a bit further round. But then, of course, the new timber is pushing on the top plate rather than on the edge. So that's why it was a little bit difficult to cut that hinge. Just the nature of the chain. And these occasional user Pico chains are all very well for just straight cutting, but when you want to start using round the nose, then the guard links create a nuisance. And here's the butt now. Felling cut level with the sink cut. You can go up to 1 inch above, and the hinge virtually parallel, and that 20% is the pin of which we turn the tree around. When I was, if you look here, when I was felling the tree, I got my angle slightly wrong, and I thought, no, I want to make it slightly easier for this tree to be hung up, so I changed the angle of the sink cut. That's why that cut's there, and then I changed it.